guys, welcome to Just Vibey Vibes. Welcome to our Raised in Africa series. Today we're talking about humility. Humility in Africa, the term humility actually means to shrink yourself, make yourself smaller, like to make yourself less than what you actually are. It is quite normal, right, for you to see someone that has an exceptional talent or that has a very good handwriting or that is a good speaker, something, whatever it is, right? And you're like, wow, you're really, really good at this. And they're like, oh, I'm just trying, like reducing themselves. Like they cannot just tell you that, oh, I had to work hard on this, that. Oh, it actually happened because I started reading and I realized that I actually love reading. So then I continue reading. Or like at the first day, I'm a very shy person, quiet, but then I realized that when I stand to speak in public, then it's just like a different me. So I enjoyed it. So it's not as difficult for me. I didn't have to work hard at it or something like that. You don't even get that. All you get is, I'm trying, kind of sounding like they're not good enough, or what they're doing is not, like they don't know how good they are. But this is because our indoctrinating training, like when you're being brought up, all the process that we're being brought up is actually an indoctrinating system. So we're being taught to shrink ourselves, to minimize ourselves, because you hear these stories of how someone that appreciated themselves, that knew that they were good at something, or because they knew that they were very good at it, they, their life ended quite badly. And now as a child, you hear these stories and you take it seriously. So now you do not want your life to end badly. So you start learning at a very tender age how to minimize, how to shrink yourself. You start practicing that skills. And by the time you get older, you've already perfected it. So now it is difficult now to change it. So that's why when you appreciate someone's skills or what someone is doing, you hear the, oh, I'm just trying. Oh, it's not that much. Oh, something that, why deep down they know that they are good and they want to tell you, yes, I know, I'm really good at this. Oh, yes, they want to tell you, but they cannot tell you because somehow they are so used to not saying it. And then, if for some reason you travel out, like to the Western world, like either, let me just even use the English speaking part, maybe Canada, UK, or America, you travel there, and you now have to compete with people, maybe go for job interviews. You find out that you do not know how to say yourself. You don't know how to make yourself valuable, because you have learned so much how to be mediocre that when you talk about yourself, people will just dismiss you, except you're lucky, like your talent is something that people can see. So then when they say, like, why did you say this about yourself? Oh my God, you're really, really good. You're not doing, why are you representing yourself quite poorly? I would say this, right? Take someone that is, what's the word? Like, take someone that is an expert from Nigeria, I'll use my country, Nigeria, and then take someone that just has maybe 5 years experience from the UK. Take both of them for an interview and see who you would want to give the job at the end of the day. Because the person in UK might not, does not, because this one is an expert, right? This person does not even have the same skills, does not even know as much. But when they're done talking about themselves, you would want to hire them. You would want to pay them the extra money. And then when the expert is talking, you're like, if not that you know that they are good at it, you would not even hire them, because we are taught to minimize ourselves. It is okay to appreciate yourself. It is okay to say, yes, I am good at this. Because you say you're good at something does not mean someone else might be good at something else. Or the person might be good at that same thing, but in a different way. Or more than one person can be good at something. And I feel like this is the reason why you see, like, we rather look for a way for someone else to appreciate us. So whatever we're doing, when someone else says it, we pretend like, oh no, we don't know, we did not hear it. But when someone else says it, then that way it makes us, feel better. Like that's why when we go to university, and then some people do PhD and all that, and you will see whenever they want to write their name, they'll write PhD, MSc, they write all the degrees that they've ever done with their name, so that's their only way of, kind of humble brag. We've kind of perfected the act of humble brag. Like for instance, there was one day I was talking to Lizzie, and I was like, oh, you have maths homework, do you need my help? And she's like, oh no, I'm good at maths, I'm actually the best in maths in my class. I'm like, wow, that's really, really good, right? And I was really excited for her, and that was a good thing to say. But let's fast forward. If that is a Nigerian child, right, she cannot tell you that she's the best in her class in maths, or that she's really, really good at it. She's gonna say, oh, I always get A, or I take first in maths, my teacher says. So as long as it doesn't come from her teacher has said it, she can see that she is the best. But now she cannot tell you that I am the best. She has to find a way to minimize it, or to make it seem like it's not coming directly from her. She's not the one saying it, is other people that are saying it. And this is also the reason why you see like Africans are very brand conscious or expensive. Like they want to drive the best cars. Not everybody, like most people want to drive the best car, but it's kind of this show offness, because you cannot, as human beings, we want to be appreciated. We want to be exceptional at something. Everybody's exceptional at different things. God has given us talent at different ways, but we want to show ourselves. So sometimes we show ourselves with like things, so material things. That's why material things are very important. That's why somehow you see in our society we give too much preference to someone that is wealthy, because and most people, they won't tell you. Like when you see what they are wearing, they're like, oh, see what I'm wearing. You see someone that has not eaten, they want to have an iPhone, they want to wear the designer clothes. And if you go and look at the house, they don't even have maybe a house to even live in, or maybe they're squatting in a place where there's nothing to write home about. But it's because that is the way that they feel like they will be appreciated. When someone's like, wow, look at this, look at that, So this is part of the reason why there's so much envy. Because if I can say, I am good at maths, and someone else can say, I am good at English, then we can start understanding that we are all different and good at what we do in our own different ways. So there is no competition. And even if we are doing the same thing and there's competition, competition is actually healthy. It will not be an unhealthy competition. But this is why people will kill. People will cheat. People will lie just to have, material things. And also, if you think about it very well, we are supposed to be the image of God. There has never been a time that you read about God, talking about God, like talking about himself, that he minimizes himself. He knows who he is. He says it with all authority. Like when you read the word of God, when he's talking about himself, I'm sure in any religion, he says it with, like, he knows who he is. He's sure of himself. And then he gives us different talents. He did not give us those talents for us to sound mediocre. He did not create you for you to be mediocre. You are an image of him. That means, are you now a shrinked version of God, that you are going to shrink yourself, make yourself smaller? So we need to revisit this humility thing. If you're good at something, say, I am good at it. If you're not good at something, be able to say, I'm not good at this, but I am good at this. If you're the best at this, say you're the best at it. Let your pricing show that you're the best at it. Let the way you do it shows that you're the best at it, but also be able to sell yourself well. We need to learn this, because I am telling you, you will not really understand how bad this is until maybe you study back home all through, and then let's say you come and you travel abroad and you're doing like a degree. You will see your classmates that in class that you're better than. When you're doing a presentation or something, or when a teacher asks them, what have you done? They have done very little, but by the time they explain that little, that little is like a lot. You'll be like, wow. Yourself, you'll be wowing when you know that they're in the same group with you, and the thing they did is just very small. But by the time they explain that thing that they did, hey, you'll be wowing too. But then now that maybe you've carried the whole group in your head, now they ask you, because of your, I just did this, and then you find out that your marks will just be doing this and just be doing that too. So we need to really, really visit so many things that we are being taught. Humility does not mean unappreciating yourself. Because when you unappreciate yourself, what God has given you, the talent God has given you, that's even an insult to yourself. So you shouldn't insult yourself, and you shouldn't insult your God. So it is okay for you not to feel. You can actually say, I am good at this, and not feel like you're the best person in the world, or that you're better than everybody in the world, which is actually what humility is. Not feeling like you're better than like you're more important than someone. Because you're better at something does not mean you're more important than someone. I can be better than someone at a particular thing. I don't feel more important than anybody. But I know that I'm better than most people at so many other things, but I'm not more important than them. So you can be humble, but don't be African humble, please. So I hope this teaches us to teach our children to appreciate themselves. And this actually starts from when they're little, like when they do the little drawing and all that. You tell them, oh, this is so good, you're doing quite well, you know. And then if the drawing does not really look good, you're like, oh, maybe you should draw this like that and like that. And then you kind of see your children start having self-confidence in themselves, not teaching them or telling them stories of how they shrink themselves. If all the people that have done all, like everything, that even the computer we're using and everything, if they didn't think that what they're doing is good enough, do you think they would have been able to sell it? Do you think they would have been able to have the first loan or whatever money, or get people to invest in their ideas for them to be where they are today? No. So we have to teach our children, because we are very talented, but we minimize ourselves so much that even at the end of the day, we don't even appreciate things that are ours. Made in Africa things, African people don't appreciate made in African things, because we've not been able to sell it in a way that we ourselves now see the value in it. So even our things, we minimize it. Our clothing, we minimize it. It's not that important. Our cars, we do have some African people that have cars. Do we drive those cars? Are those the cars that are it? Like in UK, for instance, if you buy fruits that were grown homegrown, is more expensive than the fruit that was imported. But the one that was grown here, right? They didn't have to pay to import it. They didn't have to pay all those extra things, but it's more expensive because they put value to anything that is theirs. We need to learn how to put value in things that are ours, and not be doing this humility that is just doing us more harm than good. I hope this helped in one way or another. See you next week, guys. I love you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you next week. Mwah.